This is the Heart of LAFC podcast, episode 104.
The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Jerry Jimenez and Josef Zacher.
What is up? Welcome to the Heart of LAFC podcast. My name is Jerry Jimenez, your host, your friend, your insider into the Los Angeles Football Club. Thank you for joining Joseph and I for episode 104 of the Heart of LAFC. Mr. Josef Zacher, how are you, sir?
Having way too much fun with the numbers, looking at all the records, and getting ready for really what is the battle for California.
It's going to be a fun week. We have two games. Today we're going to concentrate on what is ahead only because there's going to be too many talking points, and this show would become 3 hours if we went into covering everything. So we're going to try to keep it concise for everybody. Thank you guys for joining us again. We have a lot of numbers to go over. Joseph, you've been working very hard, so I appreciate that, man. Because there's
watch the insanity. Ooh.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Yeah.
If you are listening on just the podcast and audio, he just showed us basically a list of all the craziness, all the numbers, and we're gonna start going over those. So we're definitely chasing history.
Yeah.
There's a page that LAFC set up for everybody that wants to go and check it out. They're kind of updating it as we go. And it's LAFC.com/chasing-history. And it has all these records. And we'll go over those in just a bit. We are going to obviously talk about this last game that just passed us by. 2-0 win against Real Salt Lake in Sandy, Utah. And as well as, of course, jump into the game with San Jose and talk a little bit about what happened with them in SKC, the last one. Because believe it or not, they lost. They've been doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, they've been having a great turnaround.
Since that 5-0, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder.
Yeah, we woke them up, guys. We woke up the beast.
We did. And man, listen, it's Matias Almeida. And that guy is a fantastic coach. He knows what he's doing with his guys. They have a new player that has only showed up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, came in as a sub, and that is Carlos Fierro from Guadalajara. He is going to be fantastic for them as well once he gets incorporated. However, I think he kind of has an uphill battle also, just like some of our guys who, there's so much talent in that club right now that it's going to be hard to replace somebody in order to put him in. So we'll get into that. I'm just getting excited thinking about this upcoming game. It's on Wednesday. Yeah. We're recording on a Monday. So thank you for those of you that are joining us live on YouTube. Again, kind of last minute, but we are, by the way, we're going to start doing this Mondays if this goes well. I think last time it went great. If this time, this is going to be like the second time's a charm instead of third time. And then we're just going to say every single episode, we're going to go ahead and record a video. So what do you say we get into this?
Oh, let's do it. There's so many good things to talk about.
Oh, yeah. The Los Angeles Football Club won their league best eighth road game of the season as the club defeated Real Salt Lake 2-0 on Saturday night at Rio Tinto Stadium. With the victory, the Black and Gold become the first MLS team to clinch a berth in the Audi 2019 MLS Cup playoffs. Forward Carlos Vela scored his 24th goal of the season, setting a new MLS record for most combined goals and assists in a single season, setting a new MLS record, 39, 24 goals and 15 assists, so 39 altogether. Vela surpassed Sebastian Jovinko's 2015 record with Toronto FC. Do you like how I said that? Toronto. 38 points, 22 goals, 16 assists. Keep in mind, there's still 9 games left. So this is going to be well past record. LFC forward Adama Diomande added a second goal for the Black and Gold in the 82nd minute with midfielder Lee Win logging the assist. Both teams played with a man down, with LAFC losing defender Walker Zimmerman in the 48th minute after being shown his second yellow card for a foul on RSL's Everton Luis. He received his first yellow for delaying a start in the first half. Not long after Zimmerman's exit, Vela was fouled by Aaron Herrera in the box, sending the defender off with a straight red. So 10 on 10. That didn't last for very long where they had that advantage, but Great stuff. So let's get into it. Starting with our lineup. I mean, anything unusual there, Joseph? Because I didn't see
No,
it.
it's your classic, right? That is the classic lineup. That is what we do.
Yeah.
Which is nice that they're getting games in now and it's consistent. It's perfect. They need to get familiar with each other. This is the starting lineup, unless, some new acquisition takes a spot out there,
Yep.
which could easily happen with the talent that we're bringing in. But in the time being, for rivalry week, dude, this is it. This is what to expect. I mean, we did run into a bit of an issue with Zimmerman getting the red card, so that's going to be kind of tough for the next match. But for this match and the lineup that we had, yeah, this is what we are. This is what we do. You could see the system that we play. It's proper.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing unusual there. For me, I would say that it's going to be more interesting the next couple of games. This one was kind of a given. Now that we have two coming up so quickly, I do believe there's going to be some moves here and there, and of course we'll get into those also. And what it means to have to play two games coming up, which one matters more. And I think we have a little bit of difference in opinion, which is going to be good, because we get to talk a little bit about that. So coming into this with Real Salt Lake, their starting lineup is pretty much exactly the same as well. I mean, they do a standard 4-4-1-1 type of
Yeah,
thing.
high low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to play high low. Yeah.
So they had obviously Nick Romando up in the back, which by the way, that guy is still a beast.
Dude, he kept him in
40,
this game.
40
Yeah.
year old Nick Romando
Yeah.
from
Yeah, I
Montclair,
got
California. Your
Mont.
buddy.
Yeah, I have Remery sitting next to him in physiology,
Yeah.
for sure. Couple training field things, but we'll leave that alone. But
All right.
yeah. I will say this, man. This is the right way to end it, right? Beginning of the year looked like it was going to be a sad ending for Nick Romando, but now he's in form. His team's in form. They're definitely going to be a playoff team. There's no question they're going to the playoffs. You could see the quality that they're putting up in this match. It's a bit surprising, actually, how well they did play. I do know that their form is good, but against us, they always lay an egg. They didn't lay an egg in this match. It was a proper battle.
Yeah.
It was earned. It was an earned battle. It took us till late to win it. Nick did what Nick usually does, keeping his team in the game. Really unfortunate for us in that first part, but you know what? We stuck with it and took to the second half to make it truly eventful for our side.
Yeah, for sure. So again, Ramondo just holding it down in the back, and then Lennon Silva, Anuahu Herrera, there on the left. Then you had Savarino, Everton Luis, Beckerman, and Baird, Rusnak and Krylak in the front. Again, I enjoy seeing this. Would have
Mm-hmm.
imagined they would try something new, but no. I mean, this is what has worked for them, and they're just gonna keep trying. And hey, they held us to a 2-0, which, by the way, now that I've had time to actually go back and watch this game,
They
that
had
was
their
really
chances.
incredible that they held
Yeah.
us to 2-0. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a couple of, post hits. There was some clear and obvious, just touch it and put it in the back of the net,
Yeah.
Latif blessing. But still, that didn't happen. But I think a lot of it had to do with these guys kind of just being prepared for us. Just not prepared enough.
Yeah, I mean, I expected an absolute knife fight in this game. It
Mhm.
wasn't quite a knife fight. There was still some chippiness as expected. We're becoming really familiar to this team, and again, they've never found a way to beat us except in the playoffs. So, there's an edge. They're trying to make the playoffs. They're streaking under their new coach. They're impressing. Okay, so expected it. I expected it to be better from them. I knew it wasn't going to be a blowout. Credit to Miller. He made a couple good saves. That half volley play, that dude, bang bang. He was there.
Yeah.
Again, credit to those who were there. Zimmerman, let's be honest, it was a good professional foul. Uh, he didn't have much of a choice in the matter. That guy was going to blow past him, and I think he was really worried it was going to be a back post play by the end of that thing. So he did what he did, took his chances, and the ref followed through. In many cases, they don't follow through. They let that one go, and well, there was another guy who level with him, and no, this ref decided to be by the letter when it came to his cards. And so, hey, good deal. On our count, it's probably a good thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Zimmerman played it loose because let's be honest, he was sitting on a yellow card. If he had gotten another yellow card against San Jose, guess what we miss? Zimmerman against Carson. So, hey, what the heck? Let's take a suspension against the Earthquakes and move on. No big deal. He'll be clear. He'll be ready to go for Carson on rest. That actually turns out to be a blessing. We
Yep.
also got lucky. I mean, we were down a man, which is rare for us. And we still managed to come back. And they managed to get a red card, which is rare to see, that it evens up that way. But it did. Credit to Dio for creating a situation that would make one. That's probably the best pass I've seen from Dio this year.
Yep.
Really, really was.
It was great.
You know, different mindset. Instead of him looking for the turn and shoot, he was looking for the give and go. The mindset was right. Again, the guys are working together. It's looking strong. It's looking good. Everybody's looking confident out there. I have nobody that I can pick on this team right now. They're doing what they have to do. Outside of the red card, right? What's done is done. What's needed is needed. They're playing like the team that's showing the points that they have.
Yes.
Truth of it. You got to win them on the road. You win it on the road. You know, we now have the most wins in the league on the road. We're marching towards the most wins on the road probably in league history. Again, the efficiency's there. We're moving. We're showing momentum. And guess who's coming down the line? Perfect time to have momentum and to have a bolstering of the lineup. So it's good. It's all good things.
Absolutely.
And of course, the other story, of course, is the supporters who went all the way up there to Salt Lake, and it was about 300, I figure. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be a little more, but
They
it was,
said on the telecast they said it was 350.
yeah. So there it is.
There you go.
Dude, impressive. Impressive. On every broadcast that I've heard, it was 32-52 that you could hear from a distance.
Yes.
You weren't hearing their supporters. You guys own it on the day. So our team owns it on the field. We own it in the stands. What a shock, right? They just keep doing what they keep doing. So credit to everybody on that. You want to go for some stats? Shall I fire them off to get them out of the way and then we move on?
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to mention is, as I was saying, obviously they came prepared and they fought us, even though it says 2-0. It took us up until the 64th minute on a PK for us to get it going. To get one goal in, I should say. I mean, we had been getting it going the entire time. They held us back from scoring a goal up until the 64th minute. And you can say that maybe that was a large part our mistakes and not being able to put it in the back of the net, but it also had a lot to do, and kudos to Real Salt Lake for stepping up and doing that. So I just want to make sure I throw that out there because, again, this wasn't an easy game. I think we went into it, you called it a trap game. I think in the beginning it did quite feel that way. And so, I just wanted to bring that in, and in the back of your mind as you're listening to these stats, just kind of have that there. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
I can add to this. At halftime, who other than me felt that maybe we were going to get stuck in a draw, that it looked like it might be a 0-0, that things weren't going to go, that it, wasn't the fact that we were going to concede anything, but man, it didn't look like we were going to score anything either.
Yep.
It looked like it was kind of snake bit. Didn't happen. Things worked out for us. That's what the best teams in the league do. You find a way no matter what.
Yep.
In terms of the possession and stats and all that, it's kind of interesting the way it played out, and it looks a lot more even than you think. Possession actually went to RSL, who had 56% of the possession. Ooh, that was weird. Something just happened on my side. There we go. All right, 56% of the possession. We only had 44. Shots, 17-9 for us. Shots on goal, 7-4 for us. Okay. Possession. They had 82% passing. We only had 81% passing. I think it leveled out because they clogged the midfield. And Beckerman, as much as people hate what Beckerman does, he finds ways of evening out games and creating situations where guys are worrying more about what he's going to do rather than what they're going to do in their own game. Credit to the guys, though. They did have to deal with them. They actually had a really good game. Shout out to Kay, 90% possession stats, battling with Beckerman, not getting into card trouble, keeping it together. Same with Atuesta, pretty quiet on the day, just did the distribution they had to do, and we're both above 85% on the day. So there goes your central, right? You're covering it. Outside of that, Vela and Dio. Post shot for Dio. Pass for a PK. A goal. He was man of the match. He earned the man of the match. There's no question about it. His stats were matching up with Vela's, but he also had some impact plays. So on him, kudos.
Yeah.
Well done.
One thing that I noticed in the stats that I'm looking at right now, the official ones, it says 2 yellow cards for Real Salt Lake, 0 for LAFC.
Yeah,
And it says, yeah,
well,
one red, one red. So they're just adding them up there, is what I'm assuming.
yeah,
Is.
that's
That's
two
weird.
yellows, but okay.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird how that is. But
Yeah, I wouldn't stat it that way. It should
listen,
be a
and
yellow or
I,
whatever. Stats, Opta, whatevs.
yeah. So
Um,
Zimmerman won't be available for the game coming up against San Jose. But we were saying this. Do you think it seemed to me like he almost meant to do it? I don't know if this is something that has been like mentioned at all. Just I already have a yellow. If I get a yellow coming up against San Jose, I won't play against Galaxy, so I might as well get a red right now. Do you think that went through his mind? I don't think so, but it's just something to
I don't
throw
think
out
they
there.
play that way.
I don't think they do.
Honestly, you
No.
want to play. It's the same thing with Atuesta when he took that funky play, right, and got suspended just in time.
Yeah.
The Atuesta effect, right?
Yeah, there you go.
It's very convenient the way it plays out. Do I think there's a conspiracy? Heck no, man. They're just playing football.
It's a
No way.
conspiracy,
No way.
man.
Why are you gonna, they're thinking of that game and getting that result because they need to qualify,
Yeah.
right? And they're
Yeah.
chasing a record. We're chasing a big record, which we'll talk about right in a few minutes here. You can't let up. If you're gonna make the record, we'll show you the record. You can't let up to catch them. You cannot. So
Yeah.
no, our guys don't have that in their mind. Their mind is they're gonna make the record. They're gonna run for MLS Cup. They need a supporter shield first and foremost because that gets you in the Champions League. Big picture stuff, guys. So I don't think you're gonna have a conspiracy to a red card.
No.
Nah, nah.
I would say that's not the case. Also, just a friendly reminder to all of those that may have missed it. We have clinched the playoffs, and we took a record from Atlanta United, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we did. Oh, shall I do the chasing record?
Shout out to Mr. J Riddle, who actually is in our chat room right now, trying to be silly, saying, "Here's a stat: Josef will surpass Vela in the Golden Boot race. It's science," is what he said. And then
He's
Poison Johnny said, "Joseph Sacker? I think he wears black shoes." So
I always wear black shoes.
for a second there, I was like, my buddy Joseph here is going to win the Golden Boot. He hasn't played a single game. How is that even possible? All right. So, but there you go.
I'm
So,
older, so I'm the first one, I guess, in this league.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
gonna put it there it is. Whatevs, a fine name.
Impossible.
His mother is a fine soul. We'll just say that. And honestly, I like Joseph Martinez. It's hard not to like the guy.
It's very hard not to
honestly.
like him. Yeah, I
Yes,
agree.
he's good. Yes, he's deadly. But he also has a cool personality to boot. And him and Vela get along really well. So if I'm gonna be in a duel between two guys, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let it be these two. As long as it's not the other douchebag from down the street, we're good.
I agree.
We're good. Honestly,
I
we're good.
agree. I agree with you on that. And say, okay, so here's the thing. I think we talked about it in the last episode, right? Where we say Carlos Vela is consistent. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's only scoring one goal per game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Where we actually have Joseph Martinez, who may miss a couple of games without scoring, but then all of a sudden he's like hat trick.
Bunches.
And then just catches up. So yes, I actually would agree with Jay in that Joseph will probably surpass Carlos Vela. But I'm hoping Vela will continue being consistent, and eventually they will even itself out, and Vela will succeed at the end of the day. I don't know if that will happen. We'll find out. That's gonna be fun. And on that point, maybe we should jump into some of these chasing history stats. What do you think?
Let's do it. All right. I shall start.
Yes, please.
Let's do that. All right. Earliest team to clinch a playoff spot. Guess what, guys? We have the record. So it took us 25 games to clinch a spot in the playoffs. Past record holder was Atlanta United at 27. So we beat them by 2 games. Boom. Take that, Joseph Martinez. Yeah. You want to go with the next one?
Yeah. Record most goals, assists by one player in a season. That was surpassed this past game by none other than Mr. Carlos Vela. In 25 games, he has had 24 goals and 15 assists. Giovinco held the record from 2015. 34 games, he had 22 goals. That's 2 less than Carlos Vela. 16 assists. That's 1 more than Carlos Vela. Therefore, beating him out by 1. That is with 34 games. Again, there is still 9 games to go. Carlos Vela is going to surpass that record, most goals and assists combined by one player in a season, easily.
That's
Easy.
the points record. That's the points record. Since 96. That's the points record. That's insane, guys.
Yeah.
A month to go, really? This is gonna be pretty solid for a while here. Unless he beats his own record, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because Martinez isn't an assist man. We know this already. He's a finisher. So there's nobody that does both in the league like this guy does.
Is there a
That's
way
cool.
we can steal Joseph Martinez from Atlanta? I don't think so, but
I think
imagine,
he'd want. I
imagine
think he
that.
wants to. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Mr. Riddle, I bet you if he got the chance to move in like tomorrow, he would. After all,
Don't,
he does like to have his drink and enjoy watching us play.
don't say that. I like Jay. Don't say that to him.
Nothing against you, Jay. Just saying, for the purpose of rivalry, it is what it is.
It is, yeah. All right. I love
All
those
right,
guys though. It's
let's
hard.
keep going here.
Again, dude. It's hard to hate those guys, but okay. Go for it. Next one.
Fastest team to 100 points total. Thanks from expansion to 100. Okay. We are record holders. In 53 games, we reached 100 points. The past record holder was a 2017-2018 Atlanta. Took them 57 games to get there. Boom.
Yep.
Another record that's ours.
Again, only beat them 4 games. By 4 games. That's jeez.
Ooh, a few games in hand. Check that out. Want to do the next one?
You actually missed one real quick. This one's just more of a fun one. Most goals and assists in first 50 games as a player. So Carlos Vela actually surpassed this one as well. 36 goals and 26 assists in 50 games. Giovinco had 30 goals and 23 assists. So Vela there, 6 more goals and 3 more assists than Giovinco. Good stuff, man. Giovinco, I didn't realize how many records Giovinco actually held. I guess he was really good.
Dude, of course he was good.
I know he was, but I just
when
didn't.
he left.
Yeah, I know.
And how
I'm
he
pretty
left
sure
and where he
Toronto.
left?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Toronto feels the same way.
Yeah, and he didn't really want to go. He felt forced out. How weird is that? Yeah, they blew it. So here's the next one, dude. Vela. Fastest player to score 20 goals in a season. Carlos Vela, 21 games, 20 goals. Josef Martinez, 22 games, 20 goals.
Yep.
Yeah, that one too.
By 1. Dude, I mean, it's guys like this. It's guys like Joseph, guys like Carlos, guys like Giovinco that are gonna make this league better. Like we need to get more of them in here. Is where I'm going with that. Cool. Next one. Most goals scored by a Mexican player in their entire career. How many? Can you really quick look up how many years Eric Cubo Torres played with Chivas USA? Because if it was only 2, then that's cool. 3? Okay. So Carlos Vela, 38 goals, beating out Eric Torres with 36. Which, by the way, that record is still.
You got to realize Eric Torres also played for Houston. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
He went back to those guys too.
And he's still, and I think right now he's with Cholos Tijuana.
Yeah, dude. Kubo is a great player. He's not Carlos Vela. He's a great player though. Like no doubt. Fun to watch. I remember one game. I remember one game. They lost the game that they should. Yes, they lost the game when they shouldn't. I was down by the tunnel, and he was so pissed at the loss. He broke like these, basically like the security ropes. He pretty much security. He half volleyed one and just shattered the thing out of anger and screamed down the hall. Like passion, dude. Guy's all passion. Yeah. Vela is kind of a different breed, right? Different kind of passion. But credit to both of them, both excellent players.
Yeah.
Awesome that Vela is doing what he's doing. He's gonna smash that record too. It's awesome. You want to talk about the points record?
Points record currently 71 points. That is held by the New York Red Bulls.
Red Bulls, yeah. Red Bulls?
Okay. 25 games in, they were at 49 points. 25 games in for LAFC, we are at 58 points, which means 9 points above. Points per game for Red Bulls was 1.96. We are at 2.32 points per game.
All right. And now in terms of Shield record history, again, they're at 71. We're currently at 58. They, in terms of record, we're at 22, 7, and 5 for their record. Our team, we're at 18, 4, and 3. So count up the wins. 19, 20, 21, 22. Do you think we could get 4 wins, guys? Yep. I think we can get 4 wins. Yep. No doubt about it. In terms of ties, they had 7. We had 4. We only had 3 losses. They had 5. That's where it can get dangerous, the losses, right?
Yeah.
Do we have it in us? Is it going to happen? It's not guaranteed. Record is not even, no, not even close, guys.
No.
This is going to be a tough one. It's going to take us all the way down probably to the last 2 weeks of the season. It is what it is. I just don't see it being faster than that because, again, that record of 71 is absolutely impressive.
Yeah.
Now, we're on pace to absolutely smash it. If you want to talk about smashing it, we are. So, yeah. And we'll talk about that too. Shall I do it now? Lock up? What it's
Sure.
going to take to get the supporter shield?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that the rest of the records we can kind of skip over. We're spending a lot of time on records, but it's fun because, hey, we're breaking all of them. Well, a large majority of them, and we're well on track to break some more. So.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool for us to be able to talk about it now because maybe there's going to be a time when we can't talk about these things. So the other ones we had, just real quick before you get into that, goal differential is an important one because we are well on track to beat that one. We actually currently, if we ended the season now, that would be our record. Galaxy 1998 Galaxy, 25 games in, had a 34 goal differential. The record is held by them with 41 at the end of the season. So we are at 42. As long as we continue on a positive, that's we're in. We're good. And then goals by one player in a season. Obviously, Carlos Vela at 24 goals, 25 games in. This is where it gets a little. Josef Martinez actually had 27 goals in 25 games. So 3 ahead of Carlos Vela right now on that record. You just never know though. But go ahead and jump into what we're looking like right now for
the magic numbers for the supporter shield. I also have for Western Conference, but come on, let's be honest, that's over.
That's 100%.
So let's throw this out. So LAFC, our magic number provided by MLS Magic Numbers on Twitter.
I wish I had like a
great
drum
stuff.
roll. That was
14.
14.
The magic number is 14, okay? You're asking, what the hell does 14 mean? So basically, it's combined points. Either we gain points or the team chasing us, which I'll mention in a few seconds here, loses points. It could also combine. So say if the team chasing us loses on Wednesday and we win, that's a swing of 6. Yeah, exactly. That fast is how this is going to happen.
Yep.
14 is not much. I mentioned a few weeks ago that we were 99.5% chance of winning the Supporters Shield. That's your probabilities. Why? Look at the hard numbers. So this is where it's at. We currently have 58 points. We have 25 games played. We're averaging 2.32 points a match. Our max points, if we were to win out the season, we would have 85 points. What? Yeah, but that's winning out the season, guys.
That's probably not going to happen, okay? If it happens, I feel like I need to make some sort of a bet. Like, if we are able to finish this season with 85 points, I will shave my head and tattoo an LAFC crest on the side of my head or something.
We might as well join Liga MX next year. Like, honestly.
There you go.
Honestly. Yeah. So, right? Because obviously, move to the next difficulty. You shouldn't be playing this game anymore. All right. So, second place team, the guys chasing us. Oh, guess what? It's Josef Martinez's team. Isn't that convenient? Atlanta, 45 points right now. They've played 26 games, so 1 extra game. They're averaging 1.73 points per game, and their absolute maximum points they can have for a season, 69.
69 is the maximum. 85 is the maximum for us.
Yeah, so 69 is their max points, and we already have 58 points. What? Yeah, it feels pretty good, right?
It feels good to be able to control your own destiny, basically. And at the same time, it's scary.
It's scary, yeah, because you get worried that we might do it too fast, but
yeah,
there's never such thing as too fast, because then we can get lackadaisical. But think about it this way: if you do it fast, that means your kids get to play some games, right?
Yeah.
Your reserves get to play more games. They get to get more time in, and they get to get sharp as well for the playoffs. Because guess what? Your bench wins playoffs. It does.
Yeah.
Which is why we bought who we bought, guys. So it's perfect. After Atlanta, there's Philadelphia. They've got 45 points as well, but they've already played 27 games, and their max is 66. Minnesota's max is 66, and Carson's max is 65. Yeah.
Maximum. Again, for those of you that have lost track from all these numbers, that just basically means if they were to win out the entire rest of their 9 games, the rest of the season, that's the highest amount of points that they can get. So if they
Mm-hmm.
win out all 9 games or whatever they have left, some of them actually only have, if I'm not mistaken,
Eight.
7
Eight.
or 8.
Yeah, or 7. Yeah. So Philly's got
Philly,
what, 7 games left, and
yes,
Minnesota, Carson, Atlanta has 8.
yeah. So
Yeah.
in 8 games, if they win them all, literally from now to the end of the season or the regular season, I should say, then that is the most they can get. 65 points, 66. Atlanta was, you said, 68, 69.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is one, 69. There is one other team that could sneak their way in that I didn't mention
Oh,
because they're still down the standings because they play less games. You want to guess which team that is?
Portland.
Nah,
Oh,
NYCFC.
that's right.
Okay.
NYCFC. That's right.
So they've played less games. NYCFC has 41 points on the season. You're like, well, who cares? But they've only played 24 games, so one less than us. Their maximum point total that they could possibly get is 71.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
No.
Again, especially knowing what the record is, that would be matching the record of the Red Bulls if they did that.
Yeah. Their home record, if I'm not mistaken, though, is ridiculous also. And I think they're the only one that comes anywhere close to the home record that we have, which is
Yeah.
we haven't lost at all
No,
at home.
I think they've lost like
One.
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 Yeah. And now we feel so much better about that first game of the season, right? We're like,
Right.
oh man, we
Yes.
tied NYCFT. Well, dude, look at NYCFT. They're legit.
Yeah.
They're legit. Do I think they're going to be number one in the East when it's all said and done? No, Atlanta is flying right now. I don't see anybody catching them at this point. Frank's got them figured out. He knows his boys now.
I should. Oh man.
Yeah.
Apparently, Minnesota also has only lost one. Atlanta has only lost one at home also.
Hmm.
So pretty good. So yeah, Atlanta, New York City, FC, Minnesota, and FC Dallas actually has only lost one at home. They've tied 5
Hmm.
though. So that's interesting.
They've
Um.
lost one. Yeah. It wasn't against us though.
Oh
Darn it.
no.
No, so yeah, your max possible point is NYCFC, but your most likely chaser is Atlanta.
Yeah. And talking about all these numbers, I just want to give a quick shout out, and everybody who is on here right now and is listening at home and we're in your ear, I strongly recommend you listening to week 24 of Match Day Central MLS, because you will feel good about being an LAFC supporter. Those guys just go off.
Yeah.
And look, people will talk a lot of smack about how we are the league's darlings or whatever, just like they did about Atlanta, just like they do about sometimes Galaxy back when all those rules were broken for them. Whatever.
Yeah.
Listen to it and just be proud of where we are right now, because again, you don't know when this is going to happen again. Now you can only hope that the following season is going to happen. However, MLS doesn't work that way. And we know what has happened with every single team that has won MLS Cup. Literally the next season, they become either the worst or among the worst.
Yeah.
Then they start picking it up. Atlanta. Again, we are talking a lot about them, but hey, people are talking a lot about us. So they deserve that notoriety because those guys are picking it up. Like you said,
This isn't normal, guys.
Frank
What Atlanta's doing right
Frank
now
figured
is
it out.
not normal.
No,
It's not typical.
they have a new
It's really not.
coach this season. Like,
Yeah, and they lost Almiron, so
yeah.
yeah.
Their pieces are finally coming together. I think that something must have happened in in the locker rooms. Those guys were clearly not happy at the beginning of the season, and they voiced their opinions. And now see what happens with LAFC. I think the reason that we are where we are and have accomplished what we have accomplished has a lot to do with how well our guys get along and what
Yeah.
Bob Rowley obviously has been able to build. So definitely enjoy it. Please don't take it for granted. We've been around the league long enough to know, and I'm not saying with LAFC. I'm talking about Joseph and I in general have been around following the league long enough to know that these sorts of things do not happen very often, and you need to just really soak it in, enjoy it. Please
This is
celebrate.
yeah, we're in a cap league, guys. Salary cap
Yeah.
leagues mean what? Parity. It means turnover. The guys with the most cups only have 5. That's not that special.
Yeah.
in terms of league play. It's not. I mean, Bayern won 5 in a row, right?
Yeah.
27. I mean, you look at what other leagues and what they do and what they win. There's a ton of turnover in MLS because of the salary cap that we do. It seems to be getting more predictable now that the DPs are out there and certain teams can outspend others because of the DP money, right? That seems to be leveling out a little bit.
Yes.
But historically, turnover is high and you get beat up the year after you win. That's what happens. And you can't always have bright days and lovely days.
No.
Doesn't work like that. Also, this league has a great tendency of kicking down the top seed in every playoff series. It
Mm-hmm.
just happens. The only thing is this year's playoffs are built with a proper advantage for the number one team. You get to host the big games, and you get a bye in the first round. It's set up for the top seeds to do well and beat each other in the final.
I hope that's the case. I
It,
really
it
do.
is, but you got to execute because honestly, every grinder match I've seen for us, I get a little worried.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't
Yeah.
shown up when it matters. And one comment that I did want to make also on Twitter, there was a little bit of a conversation there that our buddy in LAFC live brought up and posted, and that was that he claimed if LAFC does not win the MLS Cup this season, this season will be a complete failure, quote unquote, complete failure. And I disagree, and so I made him know that I disagree, and I said, "Isn't that a little bit too harsh?" And a lot of people are chiming in and saying that they agree with him because that is the standard. And yes, I agree. However, it would be a failure, but not a complete failure. And that's where people need to, again, take a step back, breathe, enjoy the fact that we are where we are. Yes, MLS is gonna MLS. I keep seeing that come up in the chat room right now. So yes, absolutely. And so you just never know. And if you look at any other league around the world, what's the main way of winning the cup for that year for EPL? What is it? It's
League
being
play.
league
Hmm.
play and the most points. Why? Because that's the hardest thing to do. You know?
So if someone were to tell me, oh, by the way, in your second year, you're going to win the Supporters Shield. You're going to qualify for the CONCACAF's Champions League. You're going to have the best player in the history of the league all in your second year. I'd feel pretty good,
Oh yeah.
especially
Oh yeah.
knowing how expansion teams get treated in this league.
Yeah.
We're not FC Cincinnati. We're not Minnesota, who's celebrating their most points in their history after the last win. It ain't that impressive.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I think what Atlanta did was unprecedented. You're talking about the
yeah,
best team in the league currently. If you're taking us out of that equation, it would be Toronto, right?
yeah,
In what year was that?
2
2015.
years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you're looking at that, how many years did it take Toronto to get it together?
And that team was stacked from the first day. Bought a ton of good
Stacked.
players. Like I remember Danny Dichio going crazy out there. Um, they had a good team. They had a great crowd. One of the first that you could say actually was consistent with their active support every week.
Yeah.
They looked good out there, but they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
They couldn't finish top of the league. Playoffs were an issue for them. So that was a hard luck team. It's a Toronto tradition, I believe. But
Yeah.
they finally got it taken care of with Bradley and the boys, right? It happened. It happened. Do they, they have that cup, right? They have that thing. It's on us, you know?
Yeah.
They're the last Supporter Shield winner to get one, so we have to do it too, right? We want that. Do I think it's an absolute failure if we don't win the cup? Dude, it's the playoffs. Like, I
Playoffs.
can't guarantee anything with the stupid refs in this league. I can't get fines, so whatever.
Yeah.
With the terrible referees in this league, I guarantee nothing. With things that seem a little bit not so kosher with certain teams, yeah, I can't guarantee you anything.
Yeah.
But what I can do is guarantee you that we're gonna have the most points. It's something we can control from week in and week out. We can be the most consistent team in the league. I do need to see a little bit more to say that we're going to be a cup champion because that animal is very different.
Yeah.
We don't play games like that.
No. Uh, Again, I would hope, and yes, it would definitely be disappointing if they don't win the cup. But a complete failure? I don't know. I don't think so. All right. So moving on. I think we're running out of time. Actually, no, we're doing really good on time. Let's go
Yeah.
ahead and jump into the next game, sir, because there is going to be quite a few talking points about that as well. I think that's enough for stats. We're doing pretty darn good. Long story short, we're killing it. Okay, so let's
Mhm.
move on to this coming match.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a fun one, man. Again, LAFC does remain in first place in the Supporter Shield standings with an 18-3-4 record. That's 58 points. Next up for the Black and Gold is a home contest against the San Jose Earthquakes on Wednesday, August 21st. That's in a couple of days. The matchup is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Pacific time at Bank of California Stadium. Broadcast on Unimas, KFTR 46, ESPN 710 AM, and KFWB 980. They were doing a great job over there, man, in ESPN 710. I just have to shout him out. He's doing a fantastic job over there, Mr. Total Soccer, Dave Denholm.
Yeah.
He's great to listen to, and if you cannot watch it for whatever reason, if you cannot be at the game, and you cannot pull up Unimas for whatever reason, make sure you listen to it on ESPN 710. Yeah. So you want to jump into this, man?
Yeah. All right. So we're playing San Jose, who, as many of you already know, have turned things around. They're a playoff team now, and there's no doubt they're going to finish as a playoff team. But hey, they've had a couple interesting matches. So I'm going to give you guys shall I give them the recap? Want me to throw them
Yes.
out?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So San Jose just came off a match against Sporting Kansas City, a team that is looking way outside of the playoffs and had to win the match to stay in contention for the playoffs. Talk about a team that has to win things out. It's Kansas City. So when you're playing a wounded animal, that's the most dangerous animal you're ever going to face. Okay. So here we go. Following an unexpected defeat against the lowly Colorado Rapids, the Earthquakes traveled to Kansas City to play a Sporting side that is clearly in desperation mode. From the outset, the Quakes poured pressure on SKC and paid dividends in the 25th minute. Christian Wondolowski scored a ridiculously open header off of a corner kick. Amazingly enough, San Jose had 14 shots in the first half, but could add nothing to their lead. Yeah, 14 shots first half, can't add anything to the lead. This is interesting. It's the most shots allowed in the half by Sporting Kansas City since Opta Stats actually came in 2010. Yeah, not Vermees
What?
football. I
Nice.
know, right? Crazy. That's the most shots they've ever allowed in a half under the current era.
Uh.
So bizarre that San Jose is the one doing this production.
Oh.
Second half saw a bit of a role reversal. SKC took the game over from San Jose. After 6 minutes, the home side was rewarded with a well-placed half volley in the lower left-hand corner from none other than Benny Philhaber.
What a goal,
Yeah,
man! What a
Uncle
goal,
Benny. Yeah.
Uncle
Dude,
Benny.
you like the chest assist?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was gorgeous from SKC. And Benny just, oof. Yeah.
I just have to say it. So again, we already mentioned Match Day Central. They also they called it Vintage Benny.
Yeah.
Totally
It was.
vintage Benny. So it was nice to see him score a goal and be happy. Lately he hasn't been the smiling Benny that I really thoroughly enjoy.
No.
If you want to hear funny Benny, you can listen to him and Salcizo do the podcast that they do with. Oh, Iko Para, I think just joined him too. Look
Ike's
that
awesome.
up.
Yeah.
Ike's awesome. But that goal right there, you could see he just was pumped, man. That was a good
Dude.
goal for him for sure.
Yeah, you check his Twitter account. It's pretty funny after scoring that goal. He's a crack up. Here's the deal though. The match got really interesting because chances went back and forth, right? Until about the 75th minute when, wow, what a crazy goal. The home side got a fortunate bounce off of a free kick that hit the crossbar and a hard looping lefty. It just whoosh, flew in there, hit the post, fell to Graham Smith, who easily slotted the goal. Lucky bounce, right?
Yeah.
And that got the lead. It was kind of out of the blue. San Jose did throw everything at SKC for the last 15 minutes, but again, they could not find a way to get across the line. SKC takes the win 2-1 and stays alive in the playoff hunt. As dismal as things look for SKC, they got this win. For San Jose, I'd panic a little bit. You lost to Colorado and you lost to Kansas City in your last two matches. Both of them, they're way out of the picture. And now you're in the chase. Now you got to do the hunt. Interesting things, though, for San Jose. As we know, things have turned around for them. Yes, the last 2 games were a hiccup. Yeah, it's frustrating, but really, they're a different team now. A much different team than the last time we faced them. They're currently 11-5-9. They have 38 points with a +4 goal differential. That puts them at sixth position in the playoffs. I know only seven make the playoffs, but hey, when you lose two, that's what happens. All right. Interesting case for them though. They are only 3-3-6 on the road, which explains why SKC they ran into trouble, and why explains they have trouble with us when they play us in our house. Okay, they're not good on the road. They're killer good at home, except against us. Um,
Yeah.
reality
Yeah.
though,
Well, I mean, their home record is 8-3-2.
yeah,
And again, real quick, repeat the away record.
3-3-6.
Actually, it's 3-6-3.
Is it?
Yeah, three,
Mm,
6-3. So 3 wins, 6 losses, and
yeah,
3 ties. So they're
yeah,
definitely not good away.
six
Uh,
losses.
just
Yeah.
a heads up on that one. So yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, so
Uh,
that one's good to go. But here's the deal. As deceptive as it is with this team, they have 6 wins in their last 10 matches.
yeah,
They're getting results. Most of them are ties. Outside of the 2 game skid, they only lost one other game, and this is since like June 25th. And that was basically the losses have been to Minnesota, who look where they're at in the standings right now, Colorado, and SKC. Kind of interesting that they took these 2 losses
mm,
so late because they have been in a form that you would expect better. Okay. But truth is, they've been completely outplaying the clubs they play, like completely outpossessing, dominating the clubs. Nearly like against Colorado, I think they had like 70% possession, outplaying teams, but just not getting results and not getting finishing. That's been their big issue. Is they get the chances, they dominate teams, but they're having trouble in the final third.
yeah.
That's their deal for them. Um, Yeah, I mean that's where they're at right now. They're in good form. Yeah, they had a hiccup in 2 matches. Now they're coming to us trying to get back on the schneid. And if they win against us or even get a draw against us, they pretty much lock in the California Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really important that we win this game, according to what you're saying. I think also the thought process for a lot of people has been that it's okay if we try something new and we lose this game. We can afford to lose it. I'm kind of that mentality a little bit, and as we were saying that we disagree, um, I believe that there needs to be some moves. However, it was brought up recently by Mr. Max Bredos that Brian Rodriguez will not be joining, possibly be joining LAFC until after Carson, because of the paperwork. So they're still waiting on visas, which we had already talked about. We were hoping that he would be ready to go by the Galaxy game, which is coming up on Sunday. And it seems that that may not be the case. However, he has been seen practicing now with the club. What that means is he's getting paid now. So
hmm
I mean, it's been it that to me tells me that it's been approved
I think
because
we're gonna. Yeah, I
I
think it's gonna be the big surprise.
I
Honestly,
I think we are gonna see him even if Max Berto says no. I have an idea. I have a gut feeling that they're gonna make it work, and he's gonna be eligible to play Sunday against Carson.
you
Don't
mean
quote
you mean the
me.
Max Bretos rope-a-dope?
The Robodoop. Yeah,
The rope-a-dope?
there you
Yeah.
go. I mean,
Sucker us in, thinking it's not gonna happen, and then all of a sudden he shows up and starts against Carson.
that would be
Never know.
nice. That would
You
be well.
never know.
That would be nice. At the same time, we all know what
Uh,
happened with Andre Horta. So, listen, he's not here anymore. They're a totally different player.
totally
Different
different passion.
passion.
Yeah.
Dude, if you guys aren't following Brian Rodriguez on social media, please do. He fits right in. He is like
Yes.
he's Los
Yeah,
Angeles already.
he's one of us.
Yeah.
He's
So
one
I
of
mean,
us.
we'll see what happens. Again, lost to Sporting Kansas City 2-1, lost to Colorado Rapids 2-1, tied to Columbus Crew 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just going kind of back. Oops, and I didn't actually go. Hold on. Let's do this. The last 5 is what I wanted to do. So those are the last 3. Real quick. Again, lost to SKC 2-1, lost to Colorado 2-1, 1-1 tie against Columbus. Before that, they actually beat Colorado Rapids at home 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also beat Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1. Not very strong teams.
They did
Um,
beat the Galaxy though.
they did beat the Galaxy 3-1 away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They step it up. I mean, that is the Cali Clasico. Obviously, they step it up, and that's one game that they take a little bit more seriously than maybe other games, I would say. I mean, dude, Matias Almeida has figured out what to do with Chris Wondolowski. Chris does not. Okay, he's older and he does not fit into Matias Almeida's way of playing at all. But they have figured out what to do with him. Like I don't know what he's doing over there, but he's figured it out. Um,
No, yeah, he's producing.
he hasn't
He's
producing.
producing. Yeah.
And that is a lot to do with the coach. Has a lot to do with the coach.
It's
So,
interesting though. I mean, the runs he makes are a little bit different now.
mhm.
He tends to draw back more than he has in the past. So there's little subtle changes that you see in his play, but he's still Wando, and Wando does Wando. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he can't score when he's wearing, U.S. colors, but uh, when he plays for this team, he scores. He scores a lot.
Yeah.
He's still showing that he can, and I think it's a swan song as well. This is the last year for him, so end of another era. So this is
Yeah.
his last run. No wonder he's doing what he's doing. I have a few more interesting stats from these guys that'll kind of throw you off, and some comparisons to us as well. That are interesting. Okay, and it shows how good Almeida has got these guys because they are really turning things around, and it shows play wise. Here's a shock: they're third in the league at shots per match. Again, finishing is their issue. They average 5.6 shots a game. Who's number one in the league at shots? Yeah, none other than us, 6.9 per game. Okay, but they're only third. The only guys that beat them right now is Atlanta and us. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Problem is they're finishing, right? Like I've mentioned before. They average 1.7 goals per match, which pretty puts them about fifth or sixth, I'd say, in the league, while we're averaging 2.7 goals per match. That's crazy stats on our side.
Yeah.
Things to know about them: they do like to play a 4-2-3-1. That's their way. Okay, they clog it up just like we're used to seeing. It's not a common thing to see, right? Their defense ain't the greatest though. They average 1.5 goals against per game. Yeah, over a goal. We average exactly a goal per game against. We play it wide open and have the best defense in the league. They have 53 yellow cards this year, 2 reds. Yes, they like to hit. They like to hit hard. They like the knife fights. People were complaining at how physical their game was against Kansas City, and when you looked at the stats, the teams were even in terms of physicality. It's what they do, guys. Get used to it. You saw them in the Open Cup. They played us really tight in the Open Cup. That's what they do. That's the Almeida system. They do, though, because they play so rough, do concede a lot of penalties. They've conceded 6 already this year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so don't be surprised if Vela goes to the spot this week.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked.
No.
6 clean sheets as well. Not a whole lot. Here's the funny spot. They complete 422.5 passes per match. We complete 425. We're the top. We're the 2 top when it comes to passes. Well, we're 2 and 3. Toronto has more, but not by much.
Yeah.
We're even when it comes to that. I think it's Almeida's system again. Ping the ball around, keep possession, keep possession, keep possession. Which, this is the interesting point. They are the top possession leaders in the league.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that, right? Top in the league. They average 58.2% possession. We're right behind them. We have 55.5. So to beat them, you have to take the ball away. You have to win the possession game. It's that simple. If there's any team built to do it, it's us. And even in games where we do get outpossessed, think of the Kansas City match when we throttled those guys. They were outpossessing us that match, and we just decided to kill them in transition.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to mention, too, here as we're running out of time, and I do want to make sure that we get into what we think is going to be the lineup, the starting lineup. If you look at the fact that we are playing them on Wednesday, guess what? They also have a game this weekend. It's not like we're the only ones. So in preparation for that, they actually play on Saturday. So we have an extra rest day. Yeah, they're playing Vancouver Whitecaps at home. Now, let's take that into consideration. Do you think that Matias Almeida is going to say, let's beat LAFC? Is that more important than beating Vancouver? Do we rest some guys? What is he going to do knowing that, we're playing them on Wednesday away, right? Away for them.
Mm-hmm.
Away for them. And then they go home on Saturday, just a few days later, and play Vancouver Whitecaps, who they have beat before. Now, here's another thing: is they're well, doesn't really matter. They're playing Orlando City next and on the 31st. So really, the main concern here for them is going to be LAFC on Wednesday, and then Vancouver Whitecaps a couple days later on Saturday. So, knowing that now, for those of you that didn't know, does that change a little bit of how you feel that we're going to play against them? Do you think that changes a little bit of how they're going to play against us? For me, and I agree with you, Joseph, that they're probably going to end up playing like all of our starters except for Walker Zimmerman, and then I think that they're going to make some moves early on during the game. Now, there's that thought process that again, this is one where we can afford to put in some new people. If you guys noticed, Mr. Rodolfo Celaya, Fito Celaya is actually in practice, was
Yeah.
in practice today. And so there may be some moves there where maybe he'll start, maybe he'll come in as a sub for this game, especially because it's a weekday game. We have to rest them. Honestly, I think there's going to be more importance put on the Carson game. I think. But you're saying we can't have that mentality. So tell me a little
Mm-mm.
bit of what you mean by that and why you feel that way.
I think we're chasing a record. I think Vela's chasing a record. There's no way he sits. I think we're at a stage where we want to get ready for Carson and make this the dress rehearsal for that match. I do. I think they need to go out there and shellac these guys. At the same time, the Earthquakes are going to come out there. We humiliated them in their house. They would love nothing more than to take us down a notch and take a chance at knocking us out of the history books. Okay? They need the wins. They need the points. They can't throw matches away. So they're going to come in hard at us. They're going to bring everybody in. Remember, they bought a new forward. So maybe Wando gets a rest and comes in as a super sub. Maybe that happens. I could see that happening. But really, they need the points. They're chasing. They're barely above the line. And if you look at the teams chasing, was Dallas is the one that's on the outside looking in. Dallas could get it back, could get it straight again. I'm not sure they will, but they could. So they can't really afford to lose points. If you go on a 2-game losing streak in that tight race in the West, you're out of the playoffs. Not for us, but for them. So it's a different animal. They have to play. They can't afford to go, maybe we'll get a result against Vancouver because, hey, we thought maybe we'd get a result against Vancouver, and how did that work out for us?
Not so good.
Not so good. So
Yeah.
I can't see it happening. On our end, yes, I would be worried about cards. I'd be worried about injuries. I get that,
Sure.
but I'd be really hard pressed to see them sitting guys out. Zimmerman, he's out. He's out. Who goes in the middle? That's the interesting situation. Is it going to be Silva? Is it going to be Blackman?
I'm going to call Blackman. I
See,
think he's been
I
doing a
think he'll
great job.
probably play Blackman, but I would play Silva because against the Galaxy, you're not going to put Blackman in the middle.
Gotcha.
Get experience together. Segura and Silva work together really well.
Yeah, but Zimmerman would come back for the Carson game.
But just in case of form.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, Silva needs form.
Yeah. So
Um,
as we're talking about the lineup then, so Tyler Miller, Stephen Beta-Shore, I think Stephen may even sit out. Like if we put in
that would
Tristan
make
Blackman
sense.
and then Danilo Silva, have Stephen
Mhm.
Beta-Shore sit out, and then you have obviously Eddie Segura, he has to play. Mark Anthony Kaye, maybe can be rested. It's a tough one, dude. So Atuesta,
Latif might get the rest.
I don't think so. I think Latif is playing regardless. But maybe. I mean, you have Carlos Vela, Dama Diamante, Diego Rossi in the front. So in the front, do you do anything? No, probably not. You're not
Nope.
going to put in Josh Paris as a starter.
Dio's hungry.
Dio's hungry, and probably maybe Celaya will be on the bench, and then you can bring him in. Making up for or who would he replace there? Probably Adrian Bettis. I just don't see because we have Lee Wynn still on the bench as well. So
I think, and Win should probably start or possibly start this match. Maybe.
I think he might start it. Yeah, this was gonna be a really fun one. And so here's the thing. Now, we actually are gonna have to wait and record the next episode because these are two very important matches. So we were gonna be doing this again live, very likely on Thursday. So for those of you that are listening, mark your calendars. Thursday, very likely around 10 p.m. We'll post it
Yep.
as the time gets closer. because that's really the only time that our children will allow us to record, and wives. So just keep that in mind. Sir, is there anything else you want to throw in there? We actually are pretty much out of time.
Yeah, just be aware of their top talent. Wando, he's their
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, what was that?
I
Audio
think I've
went.
been attacked by the earthquakes. They're
Yeah,
hacking me.
your audio just went
All those
crazy.
valley freaks. Come
There,
on.
you're back. You're back. You're fine.
You got me back? You got me back? All
Yep,
right.
you're good.
So Wando's got 10 goals. Kashvili's got 8, I believe. Salinas has 6. Their midfield, watch out. Espinoza and Erickson have been on a tear. So
Yeah,
I'm worried about this match. I would call this a trap game because obviously we're playing San Jose and it's a rivalry. It is. And we've
it's a
embarrassed them
trap.
at home.
Yeah.
It's a trap. Every game's a trap game when you're going for the record.
Every game from this point on, the next 9 games are all
Yeah.
trap games because they are out to get us, everybody.
And
Because
are there
we're the
any
best.
loser teams that we're playing? Honestly, coming down the line.
No,
It's
actually, do you? Do you want to go over our schedule real quick because this is not going to be a very fun one for us at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up right now. So
Yeah.
we're going to be facing San Jose, LA Galaxy coming up, and then we're going to have Minnesota United, which, by the way, they're at the top of the tables if you haven't noticed. Orlando City, maybe that would be one that we can count as a win. However, that's an away game. Philadelphia Union also doing very, very good away game. Then we have Toronto FC at home. We have Houston Dynamo. We get to play against our boy Ramirez. We have Minnesota United away after that, and then finish off the regular season against the Colorado Rapids. So
Vengeance.
Shout out to LAFC Bone Storm on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was definitely not going to be an easy end of the season. At the beginning, we thought maybe it was going to be, but it wasn't. As I'm trying to kind of keep up with everything that's going on in our chat, and somebody said this.
Wow, bro.
I think it was because of your audio, but hey, we figured it out.
Dude, one thing. That's awesome. I dig it.
Yeah.
Only one flare up.
I don't even know how that happened. I don't know if you pressed something or whatever. Doesn't matter. Hey, we're out of time. Is there anything
we're out
else
of time.
at all? I mean, I feel like the next podcast is going to be a really, really good one. We're going to have a lot to talk about because there's
be
so many. You're going to be angry. There's going to be so many
angry now.
ways that we can go about this lineup against San Jose. Dude, I'm just excited to see what Bob Bradley comes up with. Honestly, at this point, I'm just riding the wave and enjoying myself because what a season we have had so far. We just have to finish it up strong, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we go?
We love you, Bob Bradley. We love you, John Thornton, for doing what you've done here, creating what you've created. Yes, the mission is not over, but boy, the mission looks good. Let's see it through. I can't wait till our new boys play. It's gonna be freaking awesome when they're in that lineup. I just, you wonder what it's gonna be. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really hoping for that midnight surprise like we got against a certain group of jerks, to put it back on them again. Like, oh, you think you got us beat? Oh, by the way, these 2 kids are coming in right now at this point in the game when you're tired. You die now. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
You die now.
I don't feel good until we beat those guys. That's where I'm at. I'm waiting, patiently waiting.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Let's do it.
But everything else is sunshine, right? It's good stuff. Let's just keep it to
Sunshine.
Wednesday. Enjoy Wednesday, and I'll see you guys out there. I'm looking forward to this one. You know where I'll be, and come say hi. I did want to give a shout out to Fresh Pins as well, who was at the last viewing party. Thanks for coming out and seeing me. As you see, the man, the myth, the legend, been good to me.
Nice.
And he wears as you noticed on his Instagram, he wears our logo with pride.
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
Dude, the family's good, man, right? So LAFC family's tight. It's looking good. They travel well. Love you guys, man. It's been great this year.
Yeah, been killing it. Definitely have very little to complain about. We'll still find some stuff, won't we? But yeah, stay tuned. Episode 105 is actually going to be Thursday. So Stay tuned for that one. We will do the same as we're doing tonight. That's going to do it for us in episode 104. For Mr. Joseph Sacker, my name is Jerry Jimenez, and you have been listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. Stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.